there, innovation champions. Melissa Dinwiddie here. Have you ever wondered why some teams consistently produce breakthrough ideas while others seem stuck in a cycle of same old, same old? The answer might surprise you, and it's something that I've experienced firsthand in a completely unexpected arena. Over the past few months, I have found myself quite unexpectedly at the helm of what feels like a startup. So, what began as a local community action group with 12 founders back in December has exploded to, at this point, 185 members and counting as I write this. I think when I first wrote this, it was actually like 175, but it has grown since then. And this rapid growth has presented us with some really fascinating challenges. And for our upcoming meeting, which as I record this is tomorrow, but by the time you read this might have been a week ago, I don't know. We are expecting, last I checked, 116 attendees. We can accommodate up to 140. We might have 140 by the time the meeting comes around. This is dramatically more than the approximately 36 to 40 who were overflowing the living room at our last gathering. Clearly, we are not in a living room anymore. We rented a church. As you can imagine, this brings a whole host of logistical questions. What do we do about a sound system? How do we present information visually? Do we continue having food as a community building element? How do we streamline the check-in process? How do we make the experience safe for members while still being inviting to newcomers? You know, we don't want to just let anybody in off the street in this political climate. And what happened next offers some really powerful insights into why some teams innovate brilliantly while others remain stuck. And it all maps perfectly to my Create the Impossible framework. So let's go over the framework, which, if you've been following me at all, you know is 3 steps. So step 1 of the framework is play hard. No, I do not mean to go to Vegas and get wild. Play hard is all about embracing your inner 4-year-old. It is all about experimenting and following your curiosity. So here we are talking about creating space for wild ideas. When our leadership team of 5, remember, it's starting with just me, but now we're a leadership team of 5. And in fact, as I record this, we have grown to a leadership team of 6. But at that point, the point that I'm talking about now, we were just 5. And when we met to tackle these challenges, I came on with very strong opinions about certain elements, particularly about having food at the meeting, because to me, breaking bread together is a fundamental way to build community bonds. But here's where the magic happened. We had intentionally created an environment where questioning the leader, that leader being me, was not just allowed, but encouraged. And this perfectly embodies the play hard element of my framework, a safe space where wild ideas can emerge without fear of judgment. And research backs this up. A study published in PLOS One found that psychological safety, the belief that you will not be punished for speaking up with ideas or concerns, has a significant positive impact on employee innovative performance. So when one team member strongly advocated against having food due to very practical concerns like the church's no plastic policy and our very tight cleanup window and the challenge of getting people seated, I initially resisted. But in our safe, playful environment, I was able to hear her perspective without defensiveness. So that's step one, play hard, creating a space for wild ideas. And that brings us to step two, make crap. And here we are talking about embracing imperfect solutions. The second element of my Create the Impossible framework is make crap. And that means giving ourselves permission to explore imperfect solutions rather than seeking perfection from the start. So as we debated the food question, we tossed around several really crappy initial ideas. What about a no crumbly foods, no gooey foods rule? Could we use biodegradable plates and utensils? Should we have a separate snacking area? Now, none of these solutions is perfect, but by giving ourselves permission to explore imperfect options, we opened the door to unexpected insights. Now, this approach is supported by research showing that teams that share and elaborate on information more openly produce more creative outcomes. And according to another study by PLOS One, and by the way, I link to these studies in the written version of this post, this article. According to another study in PLOS One, the average creativity of team members is more positively related to team creativity when there is higher team information elaboration. That brings us to step three in my framework. And step three is learn fast. And here we're talking about finding unexpected opportunities. The third element, learn fast, is about recognizing patterns and opportunities in what emerges from our imperfect attempts. As we explored the food dilemma, a really surprising insight emerged. Not having snacks at the meeting could actually encourage deeper connections by motivating people to go out for a meal afterwards with new friends. And what initially seemed like a compromise became an opportunity for even more meaningful community building. And this exemplifies how innovative teams operate. They don't just solve problems, they discover opportunities within challenges. According to research from Gartner, teams with diverse perspectives perform better than non-diverse teams by 12%, precisely because they can see problems and solutions from multiple angles. All right, let's talk about the team size sweet spot. Interestingly, our leadership team of 5, now we're 6 actually, still, that falls right into what research has identified as the ideal team size for innovation. Studies have found that teams become less effective when they consist of more than 10 people, with the optimal size being between 3 and 9 members. Actually, 5 to 6 is really perfect. And this makes intuitive sense because it's large enough for diverse perspectives, but small enough for meaningful engagement from each member. Something to consider. All right, and perhaps the most powerful factor in our team's innovation success has been our commitment to open, respectful communication. By creating an environment where different opinions could be voiced without fear, we develop solutions none of us would have created individually. And this aligns perfectly with research showing that companies with effective communication strategies outperform their competitors by, get this, 3.5 times. So in our case, effective communication meant truly listening to opposing viewpoints, being willing to change our minds when presented with compelling arguments, building on each other's ideas rather than defending our own, focusing on the shared goal rather than personal preferences. And the result is a meeting plan that none of us would have created alone, but that all of us are excited about implementing. So what does this mean for your team? So what can you take away? What can you take away from this to help your own team innovate more effectively? Well, here are 3 practical strategies based on my Create the Impossible framework. First, create psychological safety. And how you do this is make it explicitly clear that questioning ideas, even the leader's idea, is not just acceptable, but encouraged. Ask yourself, do people on my team feel safe sharing wild ideas or voicing concerns? If not, what are you going to do about it? How are you going to make them feel safe? Next, embrace imperfect solutions. Rather than seeking the perfect solution from the start, encourage a make crap mindset where multiple imperfect options can be explored. And remember, we need the crap to fertilize the good stuff. And look for opportunities and challenges. Train yourself and your team to ask what unexpected benefits might emerge from this apparent limitation. And this transforms problem solving into opportunity finding. Remember, teams that work well together are 50% more productive, according to Stanford University research. But that productivity isn't just about productivity. I mean, it's just about efficiency. It's about the innovative potential that emerges when diverse minds collaborate effectively. Ready to transform how your team approaches innovation through more effective collaboration? Click the link in the description to book a complimentary innovation strategy session. Let's explore how the Create the Impossible framework can help your organization build the kind of team dynamics that naturally foster breakthrough ideas. If you found this exploration of innovative team dynamics valuable, hit that like button and subscribe to join our community of innovation champions. Don't forget to ring that notification bell so you never miss a new strategy for driving innovation in your organization. I would love to know your thoughts on this topic. What's been your experience with team innovation? What factors have you found most important in creating an environment where breakthrough ideas can flourish? Share your insights in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious, stay playful, and keep creating the impossible. See you next time. Ciao.